Welcome everyone to the latest episode of Wanderers Way in association with iHeat. We've got a very special guest lined up this afternoon alongside me, Derek Clark, as ever. Super John McGinley. How goes it, John?
Very well, Derek. Good Monday today. It's a pleasant day on a Monday, isn't it?
Well, you're trying to wind me up there, but never mind. But good feeling amongst the club at the moment, of course. A good win at the weekend against Huddersfield in the FA Cup.
Yeah, it was a very good result, wasn't it? And I think, there's a buzz about the place at the moment. The recent results have kind of got everybody up on their toes and everybody looking forward to the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's introduce our next guest, and they come none bigger than Sporting Director Fergal Harkin. It's great to have you on, Fergal. How goes it?
Very good, Derek. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
John's been pushing me for a while, and finally the meeting has happened.
Yeah, good to have you on. You've been in a good few months in the position, enjoying it.
I'm loving it, Derek. Really, since the moment I walked into this club, I got a good feeling and what we're trying to achieve and how we're going about it, and really pleased at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic. Before we crack on, folks, with the interview, I need to mention this here. There'll be loads of them doing the rounds at the Bradford game coming up. We're asking all supporters to bring £1 to the game Saturday the 22nd of November to help support the work of Bolton Wanderers in the community. Your £1 will go towards supporting residents across Bolton, ensuring vital services remain accessible for those who need them, from children's mental health services to connecting our older generations, preventing loneliness. Your small donation can make a big change in your community, so let's create a lasting impact beyond the 90 minutes. So bring your quid to the game Saturday the 22nd of November against Bradford City. Right, Fergal, it's been going well, as you've mentioned. How's it been adjusting to life here? Because you've came from, of course, working over in Belgium for a little bit. Is it a big difference to what your experience here at Bolton?
I think it's a big difference to Belgium, yes. But prior to going to Belgium, I was obviously in Manchester for 13 years, so this felt a little bit like coming home, back to English football, and back to a club that has got a lot of potential, and that was the attraction at the start, a club that you can go and achieve something with, and there's a huge hunger to do that. Belgium was an amazing 3 years, an amazing football country, extremely passionate fans, but that's what England has as well.
Yeah, but we'll get to, of course, your work in the day-to-day role here at Wanderers, but rewinding all the way back when you were growing up as a kid over in Ireland, was the dream always to be a footballer back in the day?
Yeah, it was, because look, for me there was nothing else to do. I grew up in a lovely village, and you either played golf or you played football, and I played football. Because I wasn't very good at golf, as John will attest to. But yeah, that was always the dream, and I just played and played and played because I loved the game. Never went through an academy system. My pathway into professional football was very different. I finished my education at 17, went to university, got my degree on a Friday and signed professional with Leicester on a Monday. So it was really strange. Walked into a dressing room that had senior internationals in, the likes of Heskey, Neil Lennon, Steve Guppy, like players that were playing in the Premier League. So it was a bit surreal, because a few months earlier I'm studying and trying to combine study with playing. And that was my introduction into professional football. So yeah, very, very different, but I think I always look back and think I'm a sports director now of a top club in England. I'm so lucky when I look at where I came from and the opportunities that I've had, simply because I love the game.
Yeah. Who were the role models growing up when you were playing? Who do you sort of aspire to be like when you were kicking the ball about the streets or whatever?
Cantona was my hero. I love Cantona to the point that when I played, I wore my collar up, I wore his number. Like the guy was a genius, and yeah, loved watching him and his skill and ability and how he changed games.
Yeah, he was decent, wasn't he?
Wasn't a bad player, I suppose. The only problem was he played down the road. That was the only trouble with him.
Yeah,
but
sure,
no question, he was one of the top players.
Yeah,
I had the privilege of playing against him a couple of times, and he just carried that aura about, didn't he? He had a presence about him, and he was different class. He was.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're playing, how did the Leicester move come about? Did they send scouts over to have a wee look at you when you're playing?
I was playing at university, and it was. Went to a place called Loughborough, which is beside Leicester, and got spotted playing there and invited in on a trial, and Martin O'Neill was the manager at the end of it. He said, will you come and sign? And I did. And the rest is sort of history for me in terms of being in the professional game since then.
Yeah. They were a cracking team back then as well, weren't they? In the 90s?
Yeah, they're really good. The year I joined, we
Cups.
qualified for Europe. They just won the League Cup.
Yeah.
And qualified for Europe, played Atletico Madrid. I remember that game, and I think finished 9th in the Premier League that year. Now, I wasn't good enough to play in the Premier League, but still to see that in that year was amazing, and train with those guys almost every day was a great experience for me.
Yeah. What was Martin like? You had many dealings with him?
Look, Martin, he ran the football club.
Yeah.
He had such authority, and he got the players playing at a level that probably no one expected. He got the best out of everyone, and then what he's achieved since then is amazing. So it's no surprise. He's so driven, so hungry. I knew exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. You first came up against the Martin O'Neill team now and again, John.
What do you mean at that time? I think we played Leicester at that time.
I was actually at the game. I remember coming to watch. It was my first time at the stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
We won. Was it 3-1? I think we won. Or 3.
I can't remember the score. I remember coming up.
I scored. I know that. I did because we wore all white that night. We wore white shirts, white shorts, white socks, and I do. I remember that time. It was good. But Martin O'Neill, I mean, he's just been a phenomenal, isn't he? Just as a person. The stories, obviously, Big Jerry Taggart played with him for him. And Jerry's told us some stories and enlightened us on a few things. But yeah, a character, no doubt.
Absolutely, and like I say, he got the best out of everyone. People wanted to play for him. Players would run through brick walls for Martin, and the instructions were simple, but you're really clear on what he wanted.
Probably no better motivator.
Yes.
Man manager, motivator. And I think probably you look at him, he goes round everybody individually, doesn't he? You know, he doesn't treat everybody the same. He just goes round them all and gets the best out of each individual. Yeah, different class.
Did any of the pros sort of help you as a young kid going in there at that point?
The biggest help for me was Steve Guppy.
Oh yeah.
Who ended up going to Celtic with Martin. Steve was a phenomenal professional. Steve joined the game late. He was working on a building site and got an opportunity. I think it was with Wickham with Martin, and then he brought him. But like he would be as a senior pro, every afternoon Steve would be out doing extra.
Yeah.
Okay, on the pitch, not just in the gym. Out on the pitch, working. He was a winger, working on his crossing, working on his 1v1, and I loved that. And I used to go with him, and we built up a relationship. But also the fact that you have to give it everything if you want to succeed, and he did. And he was a great example for me.
Yeah.
Do you think it was due to the point that he had made it late, Fergal, and you wanted to take that opportunity and make sure he took it with both hands?
I think it probably was, and have no regrets.
Yeah, and he appreciated it more.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I didn't play in the Premier League because I wasn't good enough, but I could look myself in the mirror saying I gave it everything when I was there. I just wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
When you left at that point, can you remember sort of when they say to you, we're letting you go sort of thing, or did that how it came about? Was there a realisation?
St Patrick's Day 1998. And it's funny, it's one of those days I really remember, and like it was a horrible day to be told you're not good enough, and I got told like I was 20. When you're and I think now to tell a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid that you're not good enough, that must be really hard. And then it was simply a case, okay, I cried that night, I won't lie about it, but you get up next morning and you think, okay, am I going to have a career in football, or am I going to give up? But I loved the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's find a level that I can play at and enjoy. And I went on various trials and ended up going back to Ireland and playing there, and loved it. I had 10 seasons in Ireland, playing European football, winning leagues. It was a brilliant opportunity, and I'm comfortable that was probably my level as a player, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen the Finn Harps, of course, in Bohemians. You won titles and all sorts over there, Player of the Year awards and the likes as well. You must have been loving life as a footballer over there in your native island.
I did. Look, the league was growing.
Yeah,
we had decent support. I played with Finn Harps was my county team, so it was my local team, and then I got adopted by the Bohemians fans, and was probably there 8 seasons, 9 seasons, and absolutely loved it. Loved it, and like I said, the opportunities to play European football, to win things, to meet some great guys I'm still in contact with. And I was lucky that we got some money for it as well, but keep saying, even if I hadn't been paid, still would have played.
Yeah.
Still love five-a-side now. I love playing football.
Yeah. And you worked with Stephen Kenyon, is that right? Back over there?
Yeah, Stephen was manager of Bohemians when we won the league. Yeah, he came in as a young manager and did really well for us.
Yeah.
And then went on and even better things. What he achieved with Dundalk and then getting in the national team. Yeah.
Did you have any, when you were playing over there, did any sort of offers come up to play elsewhere, maybe back in England or anything like that at all?
I tell a funny story. I've gone back and it was sort of a trial with Bohemians because they didn't know me. And we trained on a Thursday. We had a match on the Sunday. We played, no, it wasn't the Sunday, it was the following week. We played Portsmouth. And I got told that Alan Ball wanted to have a look at me. And I was so nervous. I don't know why, but I was so nervous in getting injured and not having anything. And Bohemians offered me a contract. Mm-hmm. So I signed it. I insisted that I signed it the day before the game. Played against Portsmouth, had a world day. Alan Ball came into the players' lounge afterwards. He says, "Come on, son, I'm taking you." He says, "I'll give you a 3-year deal. This is the money." It was like life-changing. I was like, I can't go. I've just signed.
Wow.
Right. And that was it. Never happened.
Holy moly.
They didn't want to pay a transfer fee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've no regrets. Absolutely no regrets. I always thought if I'm good enough, someone will come in, and if I'm not, then maximise what you have here.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. It's a big part of it, I guess. If you must have been enjoying, you enjoyed it when you were playing as well, John. Do you miss it not playing anymore?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, it's people ask you frequently, what do you miss the dressing room more than anything. You really do, because the banter in the dressing room. There's not a job where you can't wait to get in the morning, and first in, and you miss it. But in saying that, when you meet up with your teammates, your former teammates, it's like you've never been away. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And I think
so true.
Each year it goes by as well, there's a love there that seems to grow. Mm-hmm. You love each other even more the older you get.
Because you've been through the highs and the lows together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The really tough times, it's your teammates in the dressing room. Uh-huh. That's really important. And
unless you're in the dressing room, it's hard to explain, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's something that you really need to be there to kind of witness. But it's a special place, and it's I think you're privileged as a football player to be in there.
Yeah. When you qualified for Europe, did you play anybody decent on the continent?
Who were the biggest teams we played? Probably Rosenborg at the time.
Oh,
were like I think they'd won the league 20 years in a row in Norway. That was probably one of the biggest games. Uh-huh. Yeah, we tended to play a lot of Eastern European nations. Uh-huh.
Yeah. When the time came to hang up your boots, was it injury that forced you to hang them up?
In my last 3 seasons, I had knee operations at the end of each year. I was just really struggling. I couldn't do training every day. Uh-huh. So I'd have to train a day, rest a day, and I needed to train.
Yeah.
Fitness was one of my key attributes. I was able to get round the pitch. So when I couldn't train every day, I felt I just wasn't sharp enough. Mm-hmm. So I decided that was going to be the end. That was the end of 2007 season. Yeah. We played during the summer in Ireland, so we finished November 2007. But I also, when I was in Ireland, even though Bohemians was a full-time team, I worked for Nike at the time.
Okay.
And Nike were brilliant. With them being a sports company, they basically said, look, we can't stop you playing sport. So I used to go in training in the morning and then work in the afternoon and the evening. And they said, just don't miss a target and you can train whenever you want. And that's what happened. Mm-hmm. So they were amazing for me, really, really good. But the result was that when I finished playing football, I had a career on the way as well. Yeah. Outside that, in an industry that I still loved.
Yeah. It helps, doesn't it? But see, when you were at Loughborough as well, doing your degree, did that sort of tie in with your footballing career at the time?
It definitely helped me. Like I did PE sports science at university.
Yeah.
When I went over there, I was really physically weak. And I learned about the body and how to put on muscle and become stronger. Yeah. That absolutely helped me, yeah. Uh-huh.
And of course then working for Nike, did you always want to work in football after you stopped playing, if you know what I mean? Or did you think about maybe going in as a manager somewhere?
No chance. No, I always wanted to work in sport, yes.
Yeah.
And I loved my time at Nike. It was brilliant. And when I finished with Bohemians, I then transferred over to the UK to work for Nike over there, in a sports marketing job. So it was like being around sport, being around football. That was what I was passionate about.
Yeah. Sort of transitioned pretty well, isn't it?
I'm sure he made a lot of contacts as well. That's as further you've gone into your career, it's helped as well.
Yeah, definitely. Look, one of the reasons I'm here is because the guy that I work with at Nike called Brian Marwood, who you will know, the ex-player. So Brian was my boss when I moved over to the sports marketing role, and I still speak to Brian all the time now. An amazing guy. That he I was there about 2 years in the UK, and they were relocating to London, and I didn't want to live in London. So I was like, okay, I need to find something else. And Brian got offered the job as director of football at Manchester City. And he said, will you come? And I was like, yeah, but to do what? He said, I'm not sure, but will you come? And I went. Right. And I went into the scouting and recruitment team, and 13 years later, I was still working with him.
Yeah.
And he gave me the opportunity to go from, yes, a great sports company, but into a professional football club in the Premier League.
Yeah. What was that like at City at the time? Was it sort of like, wow, was it a bit of an eye-opener when you went there?
Yeah, but it's not the City that there is now. Yeah. So it was in the Sheikh had come in he'd been in 1 year, so it was really building the team. The team hadn't won the league when I joined. It was 2009 it was. So it was really watching it build as a club that hadn't won in years to what it is now.
Yeah.
It's an empire in terms of the football world.
Yeah.
13 clubs all over the world. It was huge.
Group,
and there was one club when I joined. But an unbelievable experience with brilliant people.
But I suppose going in its infancy was good because you saw it grow.
Yeah.
And you saw what it took to make that grow as well.
Yeah, and some of the challenges as well, John. Like, even though City had a lot of money back then,
it
still didn't guarantee the success. There were still ups and downs. And it's staying calm and believing in the journey that you're on, and believing what you're doing is right in order to achieve that success. And less so for me, but I know for Brian and other people, some really tough times. But you just got to keep believing it and have the right people around you.
It certainly paid off for them, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you see them going on that sort of trajectory when you were there, being a part of it? Is if you were outside the club looking in, you go, oh, they've become a bit of a behemoth now, but when you're in there, could you sense that good times were sort of coming?
I think what you need is that first win.
Yeah.
Okay, and winning the title with Mancini was a huge stepping stone, because then it gave everyone the belief that actually we are good and we can go that extra mile. And after that, it just never stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it a big decision to leave? I mean, you said you were there 13 years. To leave at the time you did, were you just looking for a fresh challenge, or what? How did that move to Belgium and stand in the Leige?
I probably just got a little bit stale in my mind and wanted to go and experience more challenges at other clubs. Like I say, I loved my time there and I learned loads, but sometimes it's time to move on. And then the Belgium opportunity came out of the blue. It really did, and it was a big move because I had to move my family to Belgium, and because I didn't want to live apart from them. And we decided, no, let's give it a go. The kids were young; they're still in primary school, so if we're gonna go, let's do it now. But we really threw ourselves into it. We sold our house, we moved over. Belgium was the new home, and let's see how it went. And it's probably the attraction of the club as well, because it's such a big club in that country. It's the biggest club in Belgium, that I felt had a chance to achieve something and try and get them back into Europe, and that was the goal when I went over. Yeah,
and was it different? Was there many challenges, differences from what you were used to at City to going over there in terms of the way the football structure and all that?
It was really tough from a financial point of view. At City, you obviously could have really whatever you want because money wasn't a challenge. But at Standard Liège, we had to sell all the time to fund things, and that was really difficult. We were changing the squad 20 players every summer, and it became impossible to build anything. but if we didn't sell, we couldn't fund the club. So I learned an incredible amount in that 3 years, but you can't by keep doing that.
Yeah. That was a sporting director job over there as you're doing here, of course. Was that a bit of a change from City as well, going over there and taking over more responsibility, I imagine?
The biggest thing is when you sit in the stand at a weekend, you're more accountable.
Yeah.
I've probably felt at City that I had experience in almost everything that a sporting director does, apart from having the pressure.
Yeah.
And I wanted that a little bit. I want to see, can I test myself? But nobody prepares you for it.
I can imagine.
Like they don't. But I wanted to see what it was like, and I wanted to test myself to see can I do it. But that's the biggest difference really in City. I think it's like going to university. You have all the tools, you have all the training, and then you go out into the real world, and can you actually do it?
Yeah.
And for me, that was the time to go and try it.
Yeah. What was it, the sort of fan relationship like over there? Because you're competing against some top clubs in Belgium, and you get Union Saint-Gilloise sort of upsetting that apple cart as well. Was it a massive club like you say, but in terms of the fan relationship, what was that like with you?
I think over 3 years I was there, I'd hope that they say that I had a good relationship with them, that I was transparent, that I was honest. They went through a really tough period as well, and frustration with the owners. But I think they will look back in my time and say that I was honest and I gave everything for that club. Like the Standard Liège supporters are incredible. Yeah, they are, and they're the heartbeat of that club. Every supporters are the heartbeat of the club. At Liège, the passion in a stadium in a weekend, it was incredible, and it's something that sometimes you miss in English football. But we could learn a lot from some of the foreign fan bases, especially Liège.
Yeah, it's pretty partisan over there, isn't it? So it can be nuts at times. This move then, how did this come about? Were you looking to move on at that point? Were you ready for a change when the call came?
I wouldn't say I was looking, but I was open. I had signed a 3-year contract in Liège. So I was coming to the end of the third year. It was like 2 and a bit in. There was going to be a change in ownership, but when I wasn't sure. And I know how it works in this industry. New owners come in, they probably have their own sporting director, their own coach that they want. So I needed to be open to something. And then very randomly, I got a voice message from Sharon, who I'd never spoken to before, I'd never met before, asking would I meet her. And arranged to meet herself and Nick a few days later. And we spoke about the project, and I think leaving that room, we decided that let's try and work together. And that was it. If I was going to come back to England, I wanted a club that could achieve something that had big potential. I think ideally for me, in a selfish way, that was close to where my family lived before, so we could move back to that area. And Bolton just ticked every box for me. The other number one thing was me. I needed to work with good owners that I trusted and were on the same path. And what Sharon and Nick demonstrated that day and since then has been exactly what I wanted.
Before we dive into the Bolton stuff, folks, just a quick word for a big event that's taking place in the not too distant future. On Friday the 14th of November, the Bolton Wanderers in the Community Charity Dinner will take place. You can join me and the Bolton Wanderers in the community team as we celebrate the success of young people across our town and look forward to how we can continue to support the ever-changing needs of our community. This is your opportunity to enjoy an evening of fine dining, networking and a special Q&A with Bolton Wanderers legend Aaron Wilbraham. We've had him on the podcast, John, haven't we?
We certainly have, and he's a good guest, and he'll answer some good questions, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was superb. All whilst contributing, of course, to the vital work that strengthens our community. So that takes place on Friday the 14th of November, and you can secure your place at bwitc.org.uk/our events, our/events. So there you go, get your tickets now. Right, so Bolton, we touched on it at the start of the chat there. Fergal, you've been in since March time. How's it been going for you in terms of like on-pitch stuff? Obviously a big summer, big recruitment changes at the club as well. How was all that factored in? Was it a big job for you?
It was. Look, it's always a big job, but there's always a lot to do.
Yeah.
But compared to what I've had to do in the last 2 or 3 summers, no. What was really, really clear is that we had a plan with the owners, with the manager. We knew exactly what we wanted to do. We were extremely clear on that, and everyone was calm in the process. So that helped. We knew that we wanted to get a good few players in before the start of pre-season.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm right, I think we had 5 in. We then signed a few during the pre-season phase, but as early as possible. And then we always knew at the end that there'd be 1 or 2 available that would strengthen our squad depending on what we saw. So in terms of recruitment, I was really, really happy with it, considering Jimmy Dickinson didn't start until late. I didn't start till late. We're trying to build that relationship, but the relationship with Shuey since the beginning has been excellent. Like, it's really transparent, it's really honest. So that helps massively. And then in terms of, obviously there's things in the background that we potentially would change as well, and some we did. But then performances wise, been really happy with the performances.
Yeah.
I think over the 14 league games now, look, they've been excellent. Some of the results we're disappointed with, particularly the draws that we know we should have won.
Yeah.
But what we are doing on the pitch is right. We wanted to show a brand of football that was high energy, that would create a lot of chances, that were tight at the back, that the players showed commitment. Everything shows that we're doing that. Okay, and some of the results we've been frustrated with, but I can't fault the performances because I think the players and the staff have given everything so far.
Yeah, certainly have, John, haven't they?
Oh, it's been. I think the brand of football this season has been excellent. It really has. I mean, playing with wide players as well. Fergal, it's something that I think every era that's been successful at this football club has had wide players, and they've been really good wide players as well. And I think the crowd, the fan bases, really responded to that as well. You know, and it's just really from the first game of the season, like you said, we should have far more points on the board than we've got. We've drawn a lot of games, but the performances have been good overall. I think there's only 1 or 2 games where you would say, no, we didn't perform to our standards. Other than that, yeah, I think it's been up to this point. It's been
I agree,
really good.
and even those games you mentioned, John, like if we look back at it, we had big chances at the beginnings of those games or in the first half that if we score, it goes very different. And that's how football happens. But we've got to be calm and look, our performance is good. Are we doing the right things?
Yeah.
And yes, I believe we are, with a lot of changes in the team as well. And you go back to the wingers, like I love watching wingers.
Yeah.
I think for me it was important to understand the brand of football, the type of football that the Bolton Wanderers fans want. And you said when the team has been successful in the past, it's been wingers, it's been attacking, right? That's what we try to provide. And thankfully, Shuey's on the same page, I'm on the same page, so it makes it easier.
I'll go on to now. Cozier-Duberry, right? I mean, what a find he's been. Absolutely. I mean, they love him here. You know, normally I go shopping, Fergal, right? Or I go into town, or I go shopping, right? And people stop and say to me, and oh, how you doing? How's things? How's the team doing? Yeah, great. See, now all I get is he staying? Hope they're not taking him back in January. Are they selling him? You know, that's all I get. You know, but the wee guy's just he's infectious. Been fantastic. And I think, you know, I speak to the players obviously, and to a man, they all say he's like that every day in training. He gets man of the match every day in training.
John, it was the first day he trained.
Yeah.
The first day he trained, the players took to him. And it's not just his ability on the ball. Like say, he's got this smile that people want to engage with. When he loses the ball, I've never seen anyone work harder to get it back. Right? And wingers will lose the ball. But Amario he's doing brilliant for us. Really, really happy with this. And you talk about him being recalled. Look, in every loan deal, the mother club have the option to recall the players a lot of the time. But I do know, I speak to Brighton regularly, they're very happy. What we said we would deliver for Mario, we are. He's performing for us. They're very happy with him, and I don't see that changing.
And that's my answer to everybody I speak to. I'll say anybody in their right minds wouldn't take him out of this environment. You know, you're sent on loan to grow as a player, to gain experience, etc. Right? He's doing that. He's ticking every box.
Yes.
And more importantly, he loves it here.
Exactly.
He loves the players, he loves the staff, fans love him. Why would you change it?
Yeah.
It's on the fringes, the England under-21s, of course. It's early days here. Does he have the potential to play at the top level, do you think, Fergal?
I think he has because he's got this ability to affect games.
Yeah.
Right? He's a winger that can go inside and outside, so he's not predictable. And his work rate off the ball, that's what all the top managers are looking for now. People got to understand, Amario's just turned 20, so he's still very young.
Mad.
He hasn't played much senior football. So coming here this year is the perfect environment for him to play. And we spent a lot of time showing him and showing Brighton not just his strengths and weaknesses, but how he fits into how we want to play. And that's exactly what's happening. So he's got a chance, but we shouldn't put pressure on him. He's still very young.
But the amount of times Fergal he's stepped up, big moments in big games, that tells you, and there's a lot more growth within him, but he does it week in, week out, and like I said, he's just so infectious, and I think the other players, although being 20 years of age and young, they look up to him as well.
Of course they do, because like I say, he can change games, and that's what you need. But we go back to his smile, right? He wouldn't be smiling if he wasn't happy.
Exactly.
Right. So the environment is so important to give people the confidence to go and do what they can do best.
And that's it. That's where the coaching staff, etc., all come in. Yourself, pulling him aside every now and then, having a chat with him, making sure he's happy, making sure everyone's okay, and taking an interest in him, not just on the pitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was one of a number of arrivals, of course, in the summer. What was it you're sort of specifically looking at in players before you get them in and signing on the dotted line?
There's loads of things. The first thing is we're very clear on the qualities we want in each position.
Yeah.
Right, so that looks after itself. But the other bit is the work rate, the attitude, the character.
Yeah.
Right, the energy that they're going to give when they're in the team, when they're not in the team. Right, that's so important. And so we did a lot of work on character checks and character references on players. Because that's everything. I always say, like, every player in the academy system, they've all got ability, but it's only the ones with the right attitude will be the ones that will succeed. And that's what we needed to provide. We know the manager likes to change his team regularly, and that's okay. But then he needs a good group of players that understand that and don't sulk, can be unhappy.
Yeah.
And we want them to be unhappy and want them to push, but don't sulk or bring negative energy when they're not in the team. And I think like some of the players have been incredible, like Richard Taylor. Look at Richard at the weekend, right? He has this first start in a long time.
League,
I think he hasn't started the league game yet, and Richard has been patient. He's been knocking on the door, but every day comes in with a smile. Every day he shakes people's hands. He gives everything in training, and his display at the weekend and his goal was exactly what you want. And now the manager's got a problem at the weekend, right? That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Like you said, he's got a big decision, a good decision to make. And going back to Richard, that's due to the fact of the form that Max Conway showed throughout this season and since pre-season.
Max took his chance and has been excellent.
Yeah.
And he's had to be patient.
Yeah.
Just talking about Max, it was great to see him come into his future recently. That was a big move for the club, wasn't it? Tying him down because he's been excellent, hasn't he?
Yeah, for me it was really important. Look, I was calm on it because we had really good dialogue with Max and we knew it was going to happen. Other people were less patient, but we knew we were going to be okay there.
Yeah.
But for how I want to build a squad and how we want to build a club, it is really important that the young players commit. And see that the staying here and developing here and playing senior football is important for their development. Because if, as I said, everything's about opportunity, we have got to provide the opportunity, which we said to Max in pre-season we would, but you got to take it when you get that chance. And in fairness to Max, he's blown out of the water. He's been excellent, and that's what we need. And then it's okay. He trusted us, we trusted him, and we've got a long-term partnership now.
Yeah.
I think it's important as well, Fergal, that the fans see people coming through the academy, coming through the system now. And actually getting on into the first team. There's a pathway now.
Yeah.
And that's not always been the case. So for them to see that, I think it's reassuring as well that things are going right.
Of course. And we have to give kids, if kids are shown, like I said, go back to the ability, they have it. If they're shown the right attitude, then I think you've got responsibility as a club to give them the opportunity. And then they have to take it.
Yeah. I guess it's important for the young boys as well. You see him doing the business in the first team, and you see the likes of Sam going out on loan. It's important for these boys, I guess, to get games at that stage of their development.
Like Sam going out to Aldershot is great. He needs to get a good few senior games under his belt, and then we'll see where he goes from January. But really happy with him. He had an excellent display at the weekend. In his first game for them. So really good.
But where's the sort of youth in the academy sort of stand at the moment since you've come in? Are you quite happy with where it's at just now with Julian? Of course, under 18s won their FA Cup game.
Yeah, look, I think the foundations are there. I think how they've built it up the last few years under the stewardship of Dave Gardner has been excellent. It's now providing the opportunities and making sure the players are ready to take it. That's the key, because some of the players have been in that system a long time. It's now opportunity to be there to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Shuey there. I was pleased you touched on him, because did you have any sort of dealings with him before you arrived here at the club?
I had, so when it was announced I was taking the job in March, I'd started to speak to him then. But before that, prior to that, I'd never come across him. Obviously, knew of him as in the league, but no, our paths had never crossed. So first thing was to build up that relationship and trust, and understand what he wants from me and what I expect from him. And I have to say, it's been brilliant. I love working with him. I love working with him. He drives the players. He's pushing standards. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he talks a good game as well, doesn't he? Really enjoy speaking to him.
Well, you enjoy speaking to him, Derek, but I think one of the things for me, Fergal, is he speaks to people and treats people the way you'd like to be treated.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way with me. Yeah. You know, and I think it's and he treats everybody the same. You know, simple as that. You know, and he treats them the right way. But I think he's been different class since he's walked in the door. Yeah. I know it was difficult that first period for him, because he had to get through till the end of the season before he could really put his mark on the team and to start get his own players in. But no, he got through that, and I think we're seeing the rewards of that now. Yeah,
like the brand of football that he's getting the boys to play, and the effort and commitment, like that's what you want.
Yeah.
That gives you a fighting chance.
It's important having that relationship as well with the head coach, isn't it? Between the sporting director and head coach.
It's really important, and the relationship doesn't mean that we have to agree all the time. Okay, and we don't, but we need to be able to have those tough conversations or disagreements and chat through them, and knowing that we're doing it because we both want the club to succeed. That's it. And when you have that motivation, then it's easier.
Yeah.
How does it go about then, Fergal, right? Identifying players. So do you identify the players, obviously with your scouting network? Do you identify the players and then present maybe 5 or 6 players to Steven Schumacher, and then do you sit down and discuss each player? Or do you present them and say, pick one from that 6? How does it work?
No, well, I think the starting point is we're clear on how we want to play. Then it's the profile of players that go in. So that's all put to bed. We know that exactly. So Shuey trusts then the process in order to get the list of players. And that's through the scouting department headed up by Jimmy. They basically find out the profiles in the market that would suit us, and also who's available.
Yeah.
And the information around that is really important, because we can waste so much time chasing a player that we really like, but we're never going to get him because the club doesn't want to sell, because he doesn't want to come to Bolton. There could be numerous reasons that player's not available. So then we filter down a list, and we have, sometimes you only have 1 player, sometimes you've got 10 players that fit what we're looking for. At that point then I will watch the players in detail and sort of make my mind up on who I think, and discuss it with Jimmy and with Shuey. We'll have open conversations, and then between us we'll decide, okay, this is the one we're going to go with. And he might not take everything, but he takes what we're looking for at that moment in time. And then we had a philosophy at the start that every player that we sign, the 3 of us have to agree on it. Now, if Jimmy's agreeing on it, means because the scouts have recommended it and he's on board with that, and then Shuey and myself. So if it's 2 out of 3, the player tends to not come.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
I don't think you can bring a player in. In my position, I can't bring a player into a club that the manager's not backing.
Yeah. No.
He's not going to play.
Yeah.
No.
And if I really don't believe in the player that the manager is pushing, for the sake of the club, I have to stop that coming in by presenting maybe better options. So it can be interesting conversations.
Yeah.
But I think we all trust each other, which is the best thing.
Yeah. You mentioned that Jimmy Dickinson. How important is it bringing him in?
Jimmy was invaluable to what we did in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's brilliant. He knows players. He's got good relationships with agents. He understands the market. It's helped that he's known Shuey, so he knows what he wants. Mm-hmm. But also he fits into how I see players as well. So Jimmy coming in and also all the guys that work at Lostock in the recruitment team, I have to say they've done a great job for us. Yeah. Considering we're all just thrown together and didn't know each other.
Yeah, it's quite something. And I guess it's always an ongoing process, isn't it, in terms of looking to improve the squad, even though the transfer window may have shut per se. I guess you're always looking next window ahead sort of thing. Yeah,
you have to literally 12, 18 months ahead.
Yeah.
Looking at contract lengths and what happens when he goes, when do we sell? Mm-hmm. Should we let him go early? So there's loads of conversations, and we always have to have a list ready of players. Yeah. But the list that's ready this week might not be the same as in 2 weeks' time, because the players might not be available. Mm-hmm. There's injuries. There was a number of players that we looked at, okay, we're interested in them in the summer. 3 or 4 of them have long-term injuries now. Yeah. So your list changes, so you always need to be on top of it.
Uh-huh.
In the way the club was run recruitment-wise before you came in, Fergal, what have you changed? Because we were heavily data-driven, obviously, before you came in. Obviously, still data-driven to a degree, but what have you changed to work alongside that?
For me, we needed to get eyes on the ground. We needed to get staff out watching games, to see the players. You see the body action when they don't have the ball. By going to live games, you get nuggets of information on the player, on the character. And I think when you just rely on data, you don't get that. You don't get a feel. So that was really important for me. And it's about having a combination of both. It really is. You gotta believe in what you see, and then does the data back that up, or does it tell you something different? But you can use the two of them very well together. Mm-hmm. But it was important for me, live scouting. It started with Jimmy because he goes to live games all the time, and then recruiting outside of that.
Yeah, it's vital, isn't it? Having a look at players' body language and that's important, isn't it?
You know, and loads of different things in here for conditions on the night. You know, are the team getting driven forward? Do they sit back purposely? You know, I mean, and sometimes the data doesn't give you that story, does it?
Yeah. I think if you think you want to watch a player against a top side, against a lower side, at home, away, on a cold Tuesday night, on a lovely Saturday. So if you can watch them 6 to 8 times in different scenarios, then you get a really good feel. And there've been loads of games I've been to where a player's been terrible, right? But that doesn't mean you don't sign him.
Yeah.
I've got to trust the information that's come from elsewhere and watch again. Mm-hmm. Because there's times you go and watch a player, you think, he's had a world day, I love him, I'll sign him. Mm-hmm. But it's just one good game in 50, which happens as well.
Yeah, it's quite something. So, I mean, obviously the ambition, the aim this season is getting back up into the Championship. You think the squad where it's at the moment is in a good place, very tight at the top of the League One table?
The league's extremely tough.
Yeah.
Like the points difference is minimal. There's some huge teams in there that have got good squads and spent money. Let's just focus on us. Are we playing well? Yes. Mm-hmm. Can we pick up some more points based on performances? Yes. Mm-hmm. But I think we're on the right track. We absolutely are. We're in the mix, and we can get better.
Mm-hmm. What's you mentioned Sharon earlier? What's your relationship like with Sharon and the board as well? Have you enjoyed working with them?
Yeah, they've just been really, really clear. I understand what the expectations are and what we're trying to achieve. They're very clear then on what my parameters were and how I needed to work, and they're just very, very supportive. Mm-hmm. I think I presented a clear plan to them at the beginning and how I wanted to build the squad, and then in the summer I was just let's get on with it. Mm-hmm. So to have that, knowing that they back me and support what we're doing and believe in what we're doing is huge.
Yeah. Is it a surprise as well coming to Bolton? Maybe the size of the club since you've been working here at all, or has any fans sort of approached you since you've been here?
No, it's funny. The sporting director role here is very different to in Belgium. In Belgium, you were king of the club. You were like the sporting director was seen as the president, the most important person. But it's quite nice. I don't like the limelight.
Yeah.
As John will know. Like, I'm happy for other people, the players. That's for the players, the manager. They can do all that. The biggest thing, like, I knew the club wanted to get back to where it was when I was a kid and growing up. But the ambition here is huge. Like, it's in everyone's mind. Get promoted. Let's get back. Not just promoted to Championship. Can we go again? Can we bring some of those glory days back? But that's so nice to be part of a club that where people are ambitious. Right? But we've got to understand as well that this is a journey, and we're going to have some bad parts as well. It's just keeping calm during those bad parts. And those tough moments, because that's football. It happens. But the ambition and the desire of people is huge, and that's probably the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
And like you said, Fergal, this league, from top to bottom, on any given day, anybody can beat anybody else. You know, it's that type of league. Nobody's running away with it this year. You know, and it just shows. I don't think we've fired on all cylinders yet. So I think there's plenty more to come from us. You know, and when we do get going, I think you're going to see us really fire up that league. But at the moment, you know, we've got to get some consistency. That's for me. That's the biggest thing, consistency. And these last 3 wins we've had, you know, it's got everybody in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, exactly. But now we go again the weekend and another tough game, and we've got to continue, and it'll be a different type of game. We know that, but these are the games that we have to pick up points.
Yeah,
especially here at home.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the main thing. We're making that a bit of a fortress now. I think the fans have responded as well. You know, they're turning out in their numbers. I mean, the following's fantastic. You look ahead to a few weeks and Bradford coming here. You know, Bradford have had an unbelievable start to the season. They're bringing over 5,000 fans here. That's going to be a great day. But we've got a lot of good days in front of us.
Yeah. And you mentioned the fans are so important. Yeah. Like you said about the results, it's a fortress. Can we make it even noisier? I used to speak to some managers and players that played against Standard Liège, and they hated coming to the stadium because the fans were so noisy and they're in the face from the first moment. Like, if we can create that here, it's our identity. It's a brilliant stadium with a brilliant pitch, but that should be the only thing that they enjoy. Everything else they should feel against them when the opposition come here.
It's been some magical moment. We talked about Amario earlier, Fergal. I mean, sitting in watching the game in the stands. I mean, Huddersfield the other week there, the Cardiff game here. It must feel like running on the park yourself.
Look, the late goals, there's nothing like a late goal.
Yeah.
But I wish they were earlier. It's not good for the heart. But yeah, like you sit there and you're thinking, okay, if we score, stay calm. You're in the director's box. I can't help it. I'm gone. I'll lose it. It's because it's all the emotion coming out. It's the relief. It's the excitement. There's everything. And when you look at the directors alongside me, everyone cares so much. The fans are shouting, everyone. Yeah.
You're on about staying calm. I nearly landed on top of you. I nearly come over the top. Honestly, it's but it's hard to hold your emotions back, you know. And I finish like there's no better way of winning a game of football.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, you know, you go through the game and everybody's hoping and they're on the edge of their seats and down, up and down, and then they bounce out of the stadium when it's. You know, it's a feel-good factor, Fergal. So they go in there, they go to work on a Monday, chest out, bounce into work, and you speak to all the guys that have got businesses and they go, keep winning because honestly, you know, on a Monday's unbelievable, and the whole weekend's unbelievable. Looking forward to the next game.
Of course, yeah.
Well, it's been absolutely sensational having you on, Fergal. Thank you very much for giving up your time. I know you're a busy man to have a chat with us, so thank you, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season and beyond.
Thank you very much, Derek. Thank you, John.
We'll get you back in towards the end, before the end of the season. We'll see how it's gone. We'll see how January's gone as well.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Wanderers Way, the official podcast of Bolton Wanderers Football Club in association with iHeat.